Thank you, Kanugupta ma'am, for all your wishes. And of course, thank you, Uchit sir, for inviting me and pushing me hard by telling that, you can please address it and take this topic of your choice. So thank you so much. And when I got this invite first from Dr. Uchit, I was telling that, look, my area of research at this point of time from the last 24 months is in the area of emotional intelligence. Why emotional intelligence? 25 years I have been in the corporate sector. And what I have seen is, well, we all recruit based on IQ, based on cognitive skills. Everything is perfect. But when I sit in the boardrooms, in the executive committees and things like that, you all know after a lot of experience what happens. It's only the EQ and the EI makes the difference between any human success, any career success. So most of the times I've seen leaders giving up in different situations when their EI was out of balance. And I also humbly submit that, in our country, long ago, we were the first owners of EI in the Gurukul system or in the Vedic system or in the those eras. But unfortunately, when we went around in our educational growth, we gave a lot of importance to all the cognitive skills and developing all of this. And somewhere down the path, the emotional literacy has taken a backstride. So today, a student who would be finishing off his engineering or an MBA degree and comes back to the corporate, and we try to give some feedback on his behavior and things like that, immediately they're taken back as to what is this and things like that. Or, for example, if you tell a doctor to be competitive completely to get a doctor's seat and then tell the doctor that you should be a compassionate doctor, how can that compassion come for the doctor? You tell me. Though the profession requires compassion and empathy. So where is the social and emotional learning integrated with our school children, with our higher education, or with our faculty members, or with our corporate members? This actually provoked me, actually. And I thought that this is the right time that I should really work around this and do something around this. Thus came the rise of my own consulting firm called Emotionalytics. Sir, can you go to the next slide, please? Emotionalytics is a fusion word which comprises of emotions and analytics. So the first thought which is going on and the first phase of this work is spreading emotional intelligence and emotional literacy and advocacy. That's the vision of this organization. But having said that, we would go into this second phase of it by integrating AI to EI. AI will become the enabler for EI. So the mission is to drive excellence in business through emotional intelligence and decision sciences. I request everyone to please mute off your, the microphones. It would be very easy for us all to discuss and deliberate for the next 1 hour. So Emotionalytics is a specialized HR consulting consortium that provides niche services in the areas of emotional literacy, HR consulting, OD certifications, and experiential workshops. We're a team of professionals and subject matter experts in the area of emotional intelligence and other subject areas, and this is founded by me. That's pretty much about, and let me go on to the topic which has been given to me. Next slide, please. Yeah. Well, as I was hearing to our Vice Chancellor, Sir, and Dr. Kanugupta also, while she was talking, while both of them were talking, they were talking about the researcher challenge. When I went through this topic, I put myself into this. Because what I thought is, okay, fine, I also wanted to do research. I also was evaluating a number of universities. And I was just thinking that, okay, I have got a lot of topics to research and things like that and all. So how to pinpoint a right topic? That's the biggest challenge, Where should I do where should I do my research? The second is, what kind of methodology I would take? How do I find my study participants or my focus groups and things like that? Then which institutions to participate? How to deal with the data when I get it? And I would be doing a lot of experiments. I know in the entire journey, I will be failing multiple number of times. That's a part of the research journey. And the other big thing, someone already published it, or plagiarisms, or patenting. So many things would come across for us, and this is another stress factor for all the researchers. Coping with the different changes, sometimes what can happen is the things don't go well, guide may not be there. Sometimes you may move away from the locations, so the university, whether you wanted to change it or continue or whatever it is, or some other changes, whatever could be there. Sometimes policy changes, so many things could happen. Then personal life changes, because no one would do research when they're at 18 or something. They would have done their post graduations and they're coming. And luckily, I think with the new rule, MPhil is going to be taken out, or I think it is already taken out. So students would enroll soon after their PGs into the researchers also. So that could be one possibility, that we'll have a lot of young researchers coming into the research field. And it's open, like from the 22 or 23 years to any age. I think there is at least 50, 60, whatever I have seen people entering into the researchers. But every stage there is a personal life challenges. So people continuing at the stretch for 3 years, people continuing, sometimes they say that I couldn't complete even for 7 years. So these are all some of the challenges. Their own life challenges could also affect the progress of the research. Lack of support, so many ecosystem support is required. So whether the support is there, then writer's block, what is it, how would I can, because it's humongous writing and activity and going on and publications and things like that. So how that happens, and of course the emotional dilemma in all of this, so these are some of the researchers' challenges which I have put it into one slide. Next slide, please. And we'll figure out with through emotional intelligence, can we address some of these challenges. That's my attempt today, to figure out whether we can do. Let's little bit deep dive. This slide which is in front of you, I would put a disclaimer. And I also wanted that, yes, all researchers are sitting in front of me. I'm also very much aware you're all academicians. So what I have studied and collated is from the Harvard research study, wherein if you are seeing this picture in front of you, it shows there is a left lobe of the brain and the right lobe of the brain. And on the left side, you see that completely there are numbers. On the right side, you're seeing colors and artistic work. Now, when people come to us and they come immediately label us like you're a left-brained person or a right-brained person, here is where I have issue. I would not label anyone as left-brained or right-brained, because labeling becomes a very tough thing when you talk about how the progress or the personality of the individual is built. So brain has a capacity to do functions like, analytical capability, reasoning capability, thinking capability, and logical capability. At the same time, the brain also has the capacity to do creativity, innovation, artistic things and all. So that's why the image is also, the left person is holding the right hand up and the right person is holding the left hand up. Think of any example. Supposing you have come from Shahranpur to Bangalore for the first time. You landed in our international airport and you wanted to come to a city-based IIM Bangalore, which is almost around 50-55 kilometers away from the airport. So when you're traveling there, you saw on the Google map that this is what is the distance. So what should I take? What is the distance? How I will measure the distance through Google Maps. I will figure out, okay, this is the distance. This is the number of hours it would take and things like that. That's the left-centric or my analytical brain working. At a very instance, very immediately, I will start thinking creatively. How would I go there? Should I take a cab? Should I take a bus? Should I take a half cab and a half bus? Or do I have someone else whom I got friended in the airplane and then I will go? So there is nothing that we will do only left or right, or there is no person who will do only left and there is another person who does only right. But yes, there are moments which we completely put our left-centric activities at a peak and write it down, or right at a peak and left it. But both coexist in ours at any given situation or point of time. This is my disclaimer. This is what and there is a Harvard research. You can get onto the paper and just read it. It will be a very interesting research which has been put on. Next slide, please. So why UQ? Why EI? Why should we learn about EI? That's what is some of the fundamental questions. Let us check on here. High EQ people are happier, healthier, and more successful in relationships. High EQ people exhibit balance between emotion and reasoning. They're aware of their own feelings. They can showcase empathy and compassion for self and others also. And these are the people who have high self-esteem. And we all know that we are all not created emotionally equal. but we can be all on IQ equal. When we measure IQ, we can say that two people are same on the IQ levels. But when we measure EQ, we have two different data points. So no two people can be equal